white again. If Tom Herps will make a move. And let's see which flavor he wants after this. Accelerated Dragon. One of my favorites due to this interesting line. Such a fast move. Weak pawns for the long term. That's all I want. That's all. And your strong bishop is gone. Okay. Now that I got my slightly better nothing position, let's do what I do best. Just not blunder. That's my game. That's just my game. Some people play for blood. That's not me. Occasionally I will. Okay, you want to do that, so that normally means I don't want you to do that. So we'll slow play it, not allow the trade. Where are you going, though? We'll go into it. I'd be happy to trade off the everything here, because I feel like these pawns are going to be losers for him in the ending. Like, say, if it's a pure king pawn ending, for instance. That's a shame. So I really wanted to play the rest of that one out. Okay. So we get another example of how I play against the Accelerated Dragon. And there's many moves here, but like this type of line will keep the person who plays the Accelerated Dragon honest. You don't have to know that much for white, and the burden of proof is on black to hold the position. So after f6, for instance, you can play f4, and you get a very reasonable game, given this pawn, if you will. And we find that Kasparov-Ivanchuk example game in this line. And queen a5 immediately. We don't mind giving up the pawn for play, for instance. And this gets to be a fun position because black is having trouble with his development. And then we get this knight h6 move, in which case I have e6. And after castles, we play against the weak pawns forever. And I am up, so normally I would trade, but I just don't want to give him the open file uncontested. So the ending that I was envisioning here was for him to go rook c8, because he's got to defend the pawn, and then he's going to come over here. So what I was angling for, I would probably play this move f4 here, getting a pawn on the opposite color of his bishop and mine, making my bishop stronger, making his weaker. So say, for instance, king e8, g3, c5, and it's wanting to trade bishops here. I wouldn't have done that. I probably would have played c4. And then I was hoping to get this type of ending where I felt that I should be able to get the king working in the situation. And we would see. But now that I'm looking at it more and more, probably not the best way to go. If he finds this setup, the 2 can hold the 3, because in the event of that, we see that, well, I don't need to hang the bishop. We'll say, do it this way. In the event of that, there is compensation here, because I'm not going to be able to force this pawn through, especially with his ability to create a passer on the e-file. So, for instance, f6. We'll waste a few tempi here for the computer to finally show the plan. e5, and then it wants you to wait. h3, e4, h4, and now both sides don't want to push their pawn because it will be lost, and even if both pawns are pushed somehow, clip clip should still be equal to. So a little bit of endgame in there, as the game was quite short.